It's an interesting time for business. Tariff and trade policies are dynamic, supply chains are squeezed, and cash flow, it's tighter than ever. If your business can't adapt in real time, you are in a little bit of hurt. So how do you get full visibility and adapt in real time? Over 42,000 businesses trust NetSuite by Oracle, your AI-powered business management suite. It brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all under one roof. NetSuite is the #1 cloud ERP for a reason. It's your single source of truth, giving you the data and control you need to move quickly. Real-time forecasting helps you move into the future with confidence, and with AI built in, you can automate the busy work and focus on strategy. NetSuite helps you see what's stuck, what it's costing you, and how to pivot fast. If I were running a business with a lot of moving parts, I'd use NetSuite for full control over everything. Tame the chaos with NetSuite. If your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, download the free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders at netsuite.com/SPI. That's netsuite.com/SPI. You spent months building towards launch day, but when the clock hits 0, your site crashes. Bots swarm, and loyal fans rage on Reddit. That's not good. Fanfare was built to stop that. Fanfare is the drop platform made for high-pressure moments, stampede-proof infrastructure, verified waitlists, and bot filters that actually work. Instead of refunds and rage, you get retention and revenue. And that sounds great to me. Your next launch shouldn't be a gamble. Get Fanfare's 5-step hype drop playbook and learn how to bulletproof your drop at fanfare.io/playbook. Again, that's fanfare.io/playbook.
The way I talk about knowledge, how to connect with audience, how to make the knowledge sounds interesting, that ability definitely grow over the years. But that's something I think I practiced, especially through the podcast. I think I'm still learning and learning from you, and from many others, how to tell a good story. I think I'm still in the journey, but I think I'm better and better right now how to pass a professional knowledge to the general public.
I actually vividly remember the moment when myself and about a dozen other people were in a room together and we came up with the perfect name for this woman's podcast. And this was back in 2019. She and a number of other people flew to San Diego and we did an in-person live podcasting workshop. I taught what I taught in my courses online in person. It was one of my favorite things to do. And to talk to people, to learn about them, to ask deeper questions, to really get into it was one of my favorite things. And of course, I wanted to do that more, but then the pandemic hit and I couldn't do that anymore. Anyway, 2019, we were all in this room and Dr. Yishan Zhu, who studied sleep, who has a PhD all around sleep, and she just couldn't come up with a name for her show. And then it hit us all together. Deep into Sleep. And I remember collectively just the whole room lighting up and Dr. Yishan lighting up as well. Now, it's one thing to come up with the name for something, and it's great to get excited about that, but it's another thing to follow through. Well, Dr. Yishan definitely followed through because what she's been able to build since then, and remember, she was starting her podcast from scratch. She had a clinic, still does. She's not full-time online, but she's built this incredible brand. And not only does she have the podcast, she has 188 episodes and counting. So she's stuck with it. But what the podcast has done for her and how it's been able to help add to course sales and other things that she's been doing, plus her ability to also create content in Chinese. So she's bilingual and she has Chinese content and Chinese-specific information, even in different industries now within the medical field. She's just crushing it. And so I'm very, very grateful to have the opportunity to catch up with Dr. Yishan today and to have her speak to you about all the things that are happening. And I dive into a little bit about the story and where she's going as well. So here she is, Dr. Yishan. You can find her at Deep Into Sleep. If you need some help with your sleep, that might be a great place to do it. And we've got some other resources for you as well. But here she is, Dr. Yishan Zhu.
You're listening to the Smart Passive Income Podcast, a proud member of the Entrepreneur Podcast Network, a show that's all about working hard now so you can sit back and reap the benefits later. And now your host. His son is playing the exact same trumpet he played when he was in high school, Pat Flynn.
Yishan, welcome to SPI. Thank you so much for being here.
Very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Now, we connected a long time ago, pre-pandemic actually. You had come to one of my workshops to learn how to podcast. And I'd love to know kind of what was going through your mind before our first class together. I mean, you signed up to this thing. Why did you sign up? And what were you hoping to get out of that?
Yeah, I actually listened to your podcast for a while before I signed up. And your podcast and your energy really helped me to build my own business at the first place. And then I start thinking about, I love passing knowledge to the public, and maybe I should consider a podcast. But I also believe we should learn from professionals to do professional things. So you are one of the best in the podcast world. So I was thinking if I learn from you, it possibly can save a lot of time, energy, and get a good start.
Well, I appreciate those kind words. And you definitely came and you showed up, and you and several other students kind of worked together. We created a little kind of tiny family around that time. I remember I wanted to do more of those kinds of workshops, but of course the pandemic made that very difficult. But I'm curious, tell me about the podcast that you had started then, and tell me kind of how it's going now.
It's so funny, like after your lead, and you actually create a name for me for the podcast called Deep Into Sleep Podcast. It's still going.
Nice.
So originally I was learning sleep medicine. I was shocked by a lot of knowledge. I want to share those to the public. But then nice surprise after I started the podcast is I was able to connect with so many sleep doctors around the world.
Oh, wow.
Even those like big names, I would never imagine I would connect with them directly. And now you can see I have a lot of books behind me. So when a sleep doctor writes a new book, sometimes they will find my podcast and contact me, give me a new book, even a signed book sometimes, and want to talk about their knowledge on my podcast. So I have been really enjoying that journey.
I got goosebumps when you were telling that story, because it's one of the amazing things that can happen when you put your voice out there and you start a show. And I remember coming up with that name kind of live with everybody. Deep Into Sleep. I see your beautiful artwork here, and you have 188 episodes now. So it's still going strong.
Yeah.
Still going strong. What have you learned over the last few years since starting the podcast, besides obviously the relationships that you have built? Maybe what is an unexpected surprise that has come about since starting the show?
I think definitely the way I talk about knowledge, how to connect with audience, how to make the knowledge sound interesting, that ability definitely grow over the years. Right now, I have my own team in my group practice. That's something else I do other than the podcast. My team said when I talk, it sounds so convincing. But that's something I think I practiced, especially through the podcast. And if you are a doctor in the field, you need to know what you are talking about. But how can you deliver that confidently to the public? And also how to make it interesting. I think I'm still learning and learning from you and from many others how to tell a good story. I think I'm still in the journey, but I think I'm better and better right now how to pass a professional knowledge to the general public.
Oh, that is so smart. And thank you for sharing that, because I always talk about that, the ability for, even if nobody was listening, the benefits of the podcast. When you hit record, you need to think a little bit about how you are going to present the information that is in your head. So you might write it down, or you might structure it, or practice first before you hit record. What do you do before you hit record? What are you doing to prep for those episodes? I'm curious.
I followed what you taught me long time ago. I remember you mentioned it's more like coffee chat, right?
Yes.
So I have chit chat with guests, even though this first time I ever seen them. Many of them are either sleep company CEOs or big name professors or doctors, but I share the same thing with them and help them relax. Many of the professors actually are quite nervous to get on a podcast. So we chat about topics, what they want to do and what I should help them promote, all that. And it's very easy and quick. I feel like my prep was 5 minutes up to 10 minutes, no more than that for the most part.
That's great. That's how I approach it as well, so that the audience and I can be on the same page. Sometimes when I listen to podcasts, if it feels like the host and the guest are on a different level, I don't feel that connection. That's not to say research can help. There's a lot of great podcasters who go into deep research and ask really amazing questions. And that's good too. I think we each have to find our own style. So 188 episodes in now. I also know you have an online course to go with your sleep material. Was that there before the podcast? And if not, when in the podcasting journey, like around what episode number did that course come out?
Yeah, the whole podcast is about sleep medicine. And personally, I treat insomnia. So the course happened after the podcast. Podcast was the first thing I was trying outside of my normal day-to-day clinical work. And after I do the podcast, I like it. And then, in your community, you always talk about what other things can you do. It needs to be a package. It's a community building. And then what you can offer, what kind of value you can offer to people. So I'm thinking, well, treatment is treatment. Podcast is podcast. It's two different things. So the course possibly happened after 100 episodes. It's not that long. But before I made an online course, I actually led some groups, treatment groups for real patients in both China and America. So I have revised that material multiple times to make it better before the course.
I see. So you ran live cohorts of people through this material several times before then turning it into something online. That also is great too, because it kind of validates the idea of creating the course. You wouldn't create the course if you weren't sure if people not just wanted it, but also got results from it. Did you take those results from your initial cohorts of students and use those as sort of ways to promote and testimonials for the online course? Like, I'm curious, when you got to around episode 100 and you were creating your online course, how did you market that? Because that can be a big jump for a lot of people who have in-person practices to then promote online. What was your strategy when you launched?
I was not very good at it based on my background, but I tried. First, definitely got testimonial from the past patients.
Nice.
And of course, anonymous feedback. I put them online and made a landing page and make it searchable on my website and promote around different local, like I have a Chinese version, English version, so local Chinese groups, other things. Even Stanford, because they help me promote within their clinic, because we are using similar method. It's evidence-based treatment. Yeah, I learned at Stanford and I use that material and make it better for my clients. So as a credential, like certified, sleep medicine provider, so they sometimes refers clients to my course as well.
Wow. Did they just do that kind of on their own, or did you talk to them to kind of establish that relationship and got them to promote your course? That's really neat. How did that happen?
It's an empty market, I would say. No Chinese course available using this method, treating insomnia so far, within America, at least, possibly in many other European countries too, because I got referrals from England before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so after I created the Chinese one, I'm the only one they know who are qualified, well-trained, and they train me. So they know my materials are legit. And actually, when I run my patient group, I collaborate with a professor within Stanford, and we even publish papers. And we went to conference together presenting how effective the treatment is and the material I revised. So they know my material well, they know this is helpful, and that's the only Chinese version available on the market. So they just automatically help me promote.
Wow, that's amazing. So you have a number of things working in your favor here. You have the first to market, which is wonderful. And I love how you niched into that. You have these relationships and obviously proven results. So with that mix, I mean, that's very smart, and it's no wonder why you're doing so well with that. I'm curious, when it comes to the ongoing promotion, like outside of referrals, do you have a strategy, like a marketing strategy, to go from podcast to email to sales? And is the course always available, or is it kind of open, close? Tell me a little bit about how that runs.
For me, as a psychologist, I don't want to put too much stress on myself. And I have so many different interests. So I think running a cohort-based group is a little bit hard. That's why after several rounds, after enough evidence and data, I start getting this course online to make it evergreen course. But what I offer is I offer weekly Q&A session, kind of like following what you are doing. I like how you still be available and provide live Q&A. I'm trying to do that too, but only when there are people buy the course. So you will be surprised. People don't sleep well, have with waves. Normally when one people buy, suddenly several people buy.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't have to be there online every single week. But if someone buy the course, I will be available online to offer Q&A for at least 4 weeks for them. And they can email me, ask me questions.
For a particular amount of time. And then that's it, right?
Everyone gets 15 to half an hour. But if there's multiple people, there's no more than 1 hour for each Q&A session once a week.
Got it. Okay. That's really nice. I offer office hours, as you know, for our courses, but that's kind of just every week in perpetuity, at least as the courses exist. And a lot of people worry about that because they don't want to commit to it forever. And I think having it be a certain number of weeks after a transaction is really smart, because then there's an end date. You have a point at which in the future, let's say, for example, you want to move on to something else, then you know that you're not locked in forever. You can fulfill those and then move on, which I think is really smart. So that's a really nice compromise. In terms of your course, again, I really love how you promoted that. What were the big hurdles for you? I know you said earlier that you weren't an expert in marketing or selling online. What were some of the harder parts of getting things set up? Because it seems like it's pretty automated now at this point, which is really nice. But I also know that for everybody, there's going to be some struggles. So what were the challenges for you when you were setting this all up?
Yeah, learning new softwares, how to make it work. But the biggest challenge still, I think, is marketing. I also took your email listing course and I'm trying to do that. I do have email list. The problem is I feel like I'm spreading myself too thin. I'm running a large group practice. I have some Chinese podcasts and this Deep into Sleep English podcast. I also, have my academic appointment. I'm affiliated with Stanford and so many other things. So it's hard for me to find time to really market consistently. So I'm behind on writing email newsletters. I'm not sending it out after every of my podcast episode. So promoting wise, it's really sometimes if I have time, I will promote it. If I don't have time, it's just whoever can search it online. So I think that's always a challenge for me. I don't have business background, so hard to navigate.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. And you definitely are a busy woman doing a lot of different things. So it makes sense that, the marketing often is the thing that gets put aside because, the creation is the fun part and the being with your clients and all these relationships. It is important to find ways to promote. But I think within that, just for everybody listening, there's a million ways to promote. And I think if you just found one way that worked for you, just lean into it. Maybe the way that you promote is actually through these relationships that you're building with these educators. And despite not having the time to write a whole bunch of emails and create these really fancy campaigns or funnels, you have a very big, unique advantage to utilize these relationships that you have, which come with a lot of weight and potentially a lot of reach as well. Perhaps there's other relationships at different universities or other people at Stanford, for example, that could help amplify this in different kinds of ways. You don't necessarily have to add on. You can just kind of double down on what is working. And sometimes that's a lot easier. So just a little bit of advice.
I like that.
Yeah. If we were doing a coaching call, I'd probably dive into that a little bit more. With running your own business, legal questions always come with the territory. Like, can I use this contract or agreement? What do I do if a client doesn't pay? Am I even structured the right way for taxes? Instead of Googling your way through legal landmines, imagine having a law firm ready to address your business's legal needs without the sticker shock. That's what you get with Legal Shield's small business plans. Legal Shield helps entrepreneurs access real legal help on contract reviews, collection letters, business formation guidance, and even help navigating IRS audits. Members can schedule consultations, upload documents through the app, and get support from a provider law firm that knows small business laws in your state. Plus, consultations on taxes or trademarks help you stay ahead of potential problems. And if a client is late on a payment, Legal Shield steps in with professional collection letters so you can protect your hard-earned revenue, all for a fraction of the price of hiring a lawyer on your own. Go to LegalShield.com/SPI or call 833-570-9980 to learn more and get big business legal support without a big business budget. That's LegalShield.com/SPI. Still using a copy-paste website? Break the template trap with Framer. Whether you're overwhelmed by traditional site builders or frustrated with cookie-cutter designs, Framer gives you the freedom to create a site that's professional, polished, and uniquely yours. Framer is the design-first, no-code website builder that lets anyone ship a production-ready site in minutes. It's free to start, allowing you to browse hundreds of pixel-perfect templates or even design something on your own on a totally blank canvas. Add bold animations like appear effects, text effects, parallax scrolling, scroll animations, looping animations, and much more in seconds. The built-in AI handles the heavy lifting, generating starter layouts, and can even translate your entire site to any language. Ready to build a site that looks hand-coded without hiring a developer? Launch your site for free at framer.com and use code SPI to get your first month of pro on the house. That's framer.com, promo code SPI. Framer.com, promo code SPI. Rules and restrictions may apply. I do want to ask you about, you, like many of our listeners, are bilingual and have a number of different languages that you could utilize for amplifying your superpowers and educating people. I'm curious to know how difficult that is to go back and forth and kind of use both languages. And does that kind of just double the amount of work for you? Or do you find that they sort of help each other out when you use both of those? I'd love to learn a little bit more about how you balance, the Chinese content that you create and the English content that you create.
Good question. I've been struggling with that for years. I think when you're setting up anything bilingually, it's double work. It's just after a while, when you have a system in place, it's actually could be less work and really help each other. That's how I got my group practice running. It's a bilingual or multilingual group practice. It works out really well. But originally, when I set up the website, it has to be 2 languages. Every time I write a blog article, it needs to be both Chinese and English, just for the search engine, right? For the SEO. And then even when I do YouTube channel and podcast, I was like, okay, if I do English, first, it's very competitive already. And I also have an accent. Sometimes my audience will comment on my accent. I don't mind once I pass the information clearly, but I'm worried I'm going to miss a whole bunch of audience who speak another language better. So I have to do both language podcast and YouTube. So it's like double or triple amount of work when you set up everything. And sometimes it's hard to equally distribute all the content into 2 languages.
I mean, you're right. The English market is just so much bigger, but there's less competition in your other language. So how do you balance? Are you still doing both languages, or are you kind of leaning toward one more than the other? Is one working better than the other? I'm curious.
I think actually Chinese market works better for me for everything I'm doing, mostly just because not much information available out there for what I'm doing. Or psychology, mental health topic, and sleep topic. I have a new specialty, sex therapy, right? For all that, Chinese knowledge, a legit Chinese content from a professional, it's hard to find, no matter on YouTube, a podcast, or everywhere. So because it's not quite there, it's much easier for me to be noticed and gather a large amount of audience. For English channel, but I feel like if I live in America, I do business here, I should definitely cover that part. So then only recent years, I start making more like video content in English. I definitely noticed the shrink of the audience just because I'm not quite established there. So what I'm trying to do is make YouTube video, for example, with bilingual subtitle. No matter the content is English or Chinese, it's just more amount of work. If I have time, I'm trying to do that.
That makes sense. Do you have Chinese courses as well, in addition to your English courses?
Yeah, my insomnia course, for example, one is in Chinese, one is in English. Actually, my Chinese insomnia course is selling much better than the English course.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I have other Chinese courses for like parenting, and I'm making one for sex therapy for men's sexual dysfunction disorder, actually. Hopefully, I can launch it this year.
Amazing. Well, great job on that. I'm curious, as far as a person who's not creating courses in English, what are you using for platform? because I know some platforms don't have other languages available to them. And so tell me about the systems that you're using for the delivery and your LMS, your learning management system for Chinese. I'm curious.
Right. I'm just using Kartra for everything because it's all in one. It has the data. Even I switched my email list to Kartra. So I used to use the one you are connect with, the ConvertKit. I actually like ConvertKit better, but just to pay once and everything in one place, I use Kartra right now. I have to say they don't support Chinese that well. The course content is fine. In the landing page and in the course page, I put Chinese there. It's all there. But some drop-down menu and the one I try to market it on the descriptions, it's hard to have Chinese. They just don't support it.
Can you spell that software for everybody who's listening?
Yeah, KARTRA.com, I believe. Kartra.
Kartra. Okay. Great. Thank you for that. I haven't really explored that one.
I know quite several therapists using that. It's kind of expensive, but it's all in one place, so it works for me. Yeah.
Is there any particular reason why it's beneficial for somebody in the medical field more than somebody else? Is there something special about that platform for a doctor or a therapist?
I don't really think it's especially for doctors. It just happened. I know some therapists using it.
Oh, okay.
It works for me because as a clinic, as a group practice, we have quite several courses. My therapist also create courses. It may not be the best business strategy, I don't know. But since we have so many courses, we have to host in one place. This platform allows that. And you can see the data on each page, how many people visit, where their eyes spend most time on throughout the page to help me, revise things later.
Nice. Now, you've probably seen at SPI, and I know because you're in pro, that obviously community is very important to us and bringing people together. And I'm curious on your platforms, are you doing things to bring your clients and your students together to connect with one another? I also know that in a lot of medical professions, you actually don't want to do that because there's a lot of clients who aren't really wanting to kind of show that they have, some of these problems or things going on. But I also know that it can be beneficial to have those people connect with each other. So I'm curious to know how far you've gone with community inside of your stuff. Are they just taking courses, getting what they need, and then leaving, or are they staying? And if they are, what are they staying on, and what are they doing?
Right. So for the sleep content, I don't have a group, just for exactly the reason you mentioned. I don't want my patients know each other or my clients. It's confidentiality, right? But for my sex education video, I do have a free WeChat group. That's just very beginning. I have it, and they all talk about similar content. They share resource with each other. I just leave it there. I thought about building a circle community, just like what SPI Pro does, but I don't know whether they're going to support Chinese or people from China. So it's just hard for me to really understand how that works in the Chinese community. So I haven't really built it up. But I feel like for some of my educational channel, no matter it's sleep or other topics, it's totally okay to build a community. It just won't be around my treatment course because the course is interventional, then it's a little bit ethical issue.
That makes sense. You had mentioned VChat that as a way that your audience is connecting on the Chinese education channel. What is VChat exactly? I'm not too familiar with that.
Okay. WeChat is a very popular Chinese software. Every Chinese, basically, especially they are from mainland China, they would know that. They definitely have that account. That's how a lot of Chinese do business, using WeChat, not only connect with friends and family. Also, there are a lot of groups there selling courses and building communities. It's like WhatsApp, but it's stronger function.
But more than messaging.
Yeah. Message, you can put pictures, videos, you can share a lot of different things.
Oh, okay. I feel like I've heard about, WeChat has your medical records on it. You can shop with it. It's kind of like an all-in-one thing. So you're going to where those people are already and creating communities so they can connect with each other, right? Versus, hey, here's this separate thing.
Right.
Come and sign up for this and kind of create more friction. Yeah, it's always great to bring your people together and have them discover that they have shared similar problems and challenges. They could help support each other. I think that's really great. So Yishan, I'm curious to know what your plans are for the next year. You have this podcast, you have this amazing course, you're doing a lot of bilingual stuff, YouTube channel, your practice, obviously, and the groups that you're doing. 1 year from now, I'm curious to know kind of what your vision is, what's perhaps working for you, and are there new things that you're launching, or what are you doubling down on? Tell me your plans, and maybe we'll hold you accountable here to that.
I probably need that. So I think for my time is split into two different things. One is my clinical practice. One is my online social media, like free, this kind of self-marketing thing. So for the self-marketing part, as I mentioned, my plan is to launch one sex-related course because it's very much needed by all my audience, my Chinese audience. Secondly, I want to write a book. Just because one of my Chinese YouTube channel has so many followers, I have some videos got huge amount of views. I want to organize all those educational material into a book. So I already started, but very slow. So I do need you hold me accountable.
Tell me about the book. What's it going to be about, and kind of what are you hoping to do with it?
Yeah, so it's going to be a sex educational book. And I want to put a lot of basic but educational and scientific information there to help people understand their body, their partners, their relationships, especially sexual interactions. Not a lot of people talk about that in Chinese in a scientific way. So I want to guide people with skills and clarify some myths and reduce the anxiety around it. My plan is to use food to talk about sex. So how people understand it's not too much different from eating a meal. So that's going. Since I already have so many videos out, I have the transcript, I have a lot of research I already collected as evidence. So I just need to organize in a nice way and tell a nice story. That's something I'm still working on. And hopefully if the book is out, I can build upon that, build some communities and other things.
And that plays a role with your courses that you're going to be launching in that arena.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful. Do you happen to have the same kind of relationships in that space that you do in the sleep space, as far as, universities and higher ups in education too? My
colleagues in Stanford knows that. Actually, I got some referrals from Stanford here and there for treatment wise, but that's limited so far. I'm still building up. But I'm trying to join professional organizations, to join their committees. I just joined 2 in this field. So that I think can help me connect with more people and network further to spread the words out.
Man, you're doing an amazing job. I'm so inspired by all that you've done and are accomplishing and will accomplish ever since we connected in 2019. I'm so inspired. And I'm so happy for you. I definitely think that there is an opportunity where we get to come back together in a year or two and kind of check up on you and see how things are going. And maybe that'll be enough to hold you accountable for these things. I bet you would do it anyway, but just a little bit of support from myself and the listeners for you. That is wonderful. I'm so excited for you. If you wanted to tell people where they could go to follow your journey and learn more, feel free to mention any places that you'd like right now.
Yeah, I think if people want to know more what I'm doing, they can just go to my website at mindbodygarden.com. And I have pages linked to all my channels and podcasts, YouTube, and my blogs. And that's also connect to our practice. So one place for everything, basically. Oh, and also my podcast is deepintosleep.co.
Deep Into Sleep. We are currently at episode 188. Keep up the good work, Yishan. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so excited to see what comes out of all this. So keep up the good work. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that interview. One of my favorite things, again, is to just uncover these success stories that we at SPI have played even a little bit of a role in. And, she was very graceful, and I am grateful for all the kind words that she said about kind of the work that we're doing and how I've been able to help her. And I'm here to help you too. So if you want to join this community and be a part of the conversations that are happening, come on in. Just head over to spipro.com. We'd love to see you there. Anyway, be sure to check out Deep Into Sleep with Dr. Yishan Zhu, and can't wait to see what she comes up with next, because she's doing great things. And although she's doing a lot, it seems like she's balancing it out very well and continues to use that unfair advantage she has as not just a first to market, but also those relationships she's built. That is so important. And again, one of the huge benefits of creating a podcast are those relationships that can be built. You'll never know exactly how that might actually help you until you get started. So Thank you so much, Yishan. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to serving you next week here on the SPI podcast. Cheers. Thank you so much for listening to the Smart Passive Income podcast at smartpassiveincome.com. I'm your host, Pat Flynn. Sound editing by Duncan Brown. Our senior producer is David Grabowski, and our executive producer is Matt Gartland. The Smart Passive Income podcast is a production of SPI Media and a proud member of the Entrepreneur Podcast Network. Catch you next week. Hey there, quick pause here because I have to tell you about a tool that completely transforms the podcasting workflow. Riverside. I get it. I used to juggle multiple platforms just to record one podcast episode. It was exhausting. Zoom for recording, Audacity for editing, and then a bunch of different apps just to create clips and social posts. I've tried other ones as well. They were okay, but they were clunky and super time consuming. That's where Riverside has massively helped. I can do it all in one place: recording, editing, repurposing, one platform, one streamlined flow. I just log in, record with my guests no matter where they are in the world, and just like that, studio quality audio and high resolution video all in one. And get this, even if your Wi-Fi glitches, Riverside records locally on your device so everything sounds and looks crystal clear. But here's my favorite feature, Riverside's AI editing tool. You can remove silences and filler words with just one click. Hours saved. With Magic Clips, Riverside also automatically finds the best moments and turns them into ready-to-post videos for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, all without the extra editing. So if you're looking to level up your production quality and simplify your workflow, go to smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside and use code SMART to get 1 month free on the Pro plan. That's smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside, promo code SMART. It's built by creators for creators, and I think you're going to love it. More people dream about building their own business and being their own boss rather than retiring early. But a majority of them never even take the first steps to register the business. Why? Because starting a business can feel overwhelming. With legal forms, paperwork, finances, it's a lot. And that's where Taylor Brands comes in. Taylor is a complete business builder designed to make launching your business simple and stress-free. You can register your LLC in just minutes, keeping your personal and business assets separate from day one. And from there, you can get access to everything you need to get off the ground, from legal documents, licenses and permits, invoicing and bookkeeping tools, and even a 100-day business coaching program to help you hit the ground running. You'll also get a free personalized business plan, branding tools, and so much more. And of course, our listeners get an exclusive 35% discount to get started. Just head to taylorbrands.com/SPI. That's TAILORBRANDS.com/SPI. Stop dreaming, start building with Taylor Brands.